how do you fire your real estate agent? That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Jeb Smith, Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage here in Huntington Beach. And do me a favor, if you like these videos, if you've been watching them, hit the like button, hit subscribe. It not only helps me know what people are watching, it helps more people get out there and see it. And as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. So the question is, can you fire your real estate agent? How do you do it? And the answer is kinda, sorta. Can you fire them? Yeah, and I'll tell you why I'm a bit hesitant in answering that question. Firing your listing agent, so to speak, isn't as easy as just saying, hey, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to work with you anymore. I want to use somebody else, because you have a contract, right? You have a signed listing agreement. And what that agreement does is it entitles that person that you've hired to list the property for X amount of time that you've set out in the contract. So let's say for this purpose it's 6 months, and say you're a month into it and you want to fire your real estate agent. This can go one of two ways. Your real estate agent can say, sure, I completely understand, it's not it's not working out, I'll cancel the contract, go and list with someone else. Or they can say, no, you're in a signed contract, I'm not willing to let you out of it. And as a seller, you can say, okay, I will then remove my house from the market, and they can do that, but they can actually still keep you in the contract, right? Where you can't go out and list with someone else. So they can take that property and move it from an active status to a withdrawn status, and it will stay in a withdrawn status until your contract expires, which means that you can't go out and list with someone else while you're still in contract with that particular realtor. Now, is it the most ethical way to do business? Absolutely not. I've always been the kind of real estate agent where if you don't want to work with me, I'm happy to let you out of the contract. Or if you feel like, now's not the time to list your house, I'm happy to let you out of the contract, and what have you. So, not all real estate agents are the same, but there are a lot of agents out there that won't allow you out of that contract, which means that you're stuck until that contract expires, or you can prove that they've done something unethical, right? So what is the reason that you want to fire them? You just don't like them, you don't like the way they're doing something, what have you. It's got to be pretty black and white in what they've done, and even then it's not going to happen immediately, right? You've got to go to the broker, and then the broker may say, yeah, we're willing to cancel it, or no, we're not. And if you want to fight it, then you're going to have to take it to the next step, right? So, it could end up being that the time your contract expires, you've wasted all this time in trying to get out of it, and money and what have you, if you get attorneys involved. So, it's one of those really touchy things that, you need to make sure that when you sign a listing agreement with someone, that it's laid out in the contract, that if you want to cancel, you have the opportunity to do it within set amount of time. And that way you're not backed into these positions where you want to cancel and you're tied up in a contract and not able to do it. And now the same thing goes for a buyer, right? So on a buyer side, a lot of buyer's agents, like myself, don't require broker-buyer agreements. So I don't require a buyer to sign an agreement with me when we're out looking at property. I've never done business that way. I don't plan to do business that way, because I truly want to work with people who want to work with me. And so if it's a buyer that we're working together and they decide that we're not a good fit, then they can go on and find someone else to help them find the right property. So in that case, because there's no agreement signed, that buyer can just go and use another agent to find a property, right? There is no necessarily firing me. There's no contracts involved. There's nothing that they need to do in order to go work with someone else, unless we've put an offer in on a property, right? So once I've represented that buyer on a particular property, then we're kind of tied together for that particular property, if you will. But if they wanted to go look at something else, or use another agent on another property, because there's no agreement between the two of us, they can do that. But if there is an agreement signed, a buyer-broker agreement, then again, there's that contract between that buyer and that agent, that buyer's agent, that ties them to that agent for whatever that specified time is in the contract. So as a buyer, just make sure that you understand what you're signing. You understand the time frame that you're tied up with this person. Make sure that this is the kind of type of agent that you want to work with, that you communicate well with, that kind of checks all your boxes, so that you're not in a position where you want to fire them. And the same thing with the listing agent. Before you sign a listing agreement, just know and understand that it's an obligation, if you will. There's a contract involved, and you're more or less tied to that agent for whatever that specified time is. Now, but have that conversation. Talk to the agent. Say, hey, look, if this isn't working out, what are my options? And then have them lay that out in the contract if you so choose, so that you're not in a position where if you want to fire someone, you're not able to do it. So I hope that's clear. If I didn't describe it in enough detail, or you have additional questions, feel free to comment below or contact me directly. I'm happy to help. And if you're looking for a real estate agent locally in Huntington Beach, Orange County, or anywhere in the nation, feel free to reach out to me directly. I network with a lot of professional agents across the country. I can put you in touch with someone who works a similar business model as me and can take really good care of you and help guide you in the right direction. So as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. We'll see you again soon. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.